Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and today we're trying something a little bit different. I've never made a monthly TBR before. I've made TBRs before for readathons, but those are very short periods of time, whereas a month seems like a very long commitment to try to fit in certain books. But with the popularity of other people picking people's TBRs, I thought it would be really fun to get BookTube to pick my TBR for May. So I reached out to some fellow booktubers asking if they would send me a clip of a book that they want me to read. I did give them one caveat though. I gave them the website for my local library so they can make sure the library had it, because I do not have the money to suddenly be buying 10 new books. And since I gave them no instructions besides a book that I should read, they could be sending me terrible, terrible things just out of spite. I have no idea. We're going to find out together. Initially I wanted to limit this to like 5 to 8 people, but somehow I have 10 videos, so we're gonna go with it. And as an added bonus, we are watching these videos together because I haven't seen them yet, and I'm very excited to see what people picked for me. These are roughly in the order of how I received them, and let's see what people want me to read in May. First up, Sajid. Yes, queen.
Hi everybody, and hey Kathy! Thank you for having me back on your channel for a second collab video. Today I will be picking out a book for you, and I remember when we were talking about this, I told you that there were 2 books that I saw at your library that I wanted you to read and I couldn't pick between them. And they were A Girl Like That as well as You Bring the Distant Near. But you could always read these at a different time, because I just remember that there's another book that I would love to see you read, and shockingly it's at your library, and the book is called Anna in Between by Elizabeth Nunez. This is a book set in my country of Trinidad and Tobago, specifically Trinidad. It never says throughout the book that it's set in Trinidad, it just says a Caribbean island, but it is so plainly, obviously Trinidad when you read it, at least to me.
And then there's also the fact that the author is from Trinidad and slightly based the book off of her own life experience.
They're going to be following a middle-aged Trinidadian woman who has been living in the United States for a very long time and decides to return back home to visit her parents, and upon doing so she discovers that her mother has breast cancer. It's a very slow burn literary fiction novel, but it's very easy to read, so go put your hands on it, go read it, and let me know what you think.
That sounds wonderful, because I've never read a book from Trinidad that I'm aware of, so I'm very excited for this. Also on my library's website, not only can you put things on hold, but you can create lists of types of books, so I've created a list specifically for these picks, so I can get the holds throughout the month of May instead of trying to get them all at the beginning and then finish them all in 3 weeks. I try to be strategic about this. Alright, let's move on to our second one, and it's Angel.
Hello YouTube and Kathy, it's Angel here, and I am accepting your challenge to curate a TBR for you for the month of May. I'm gonna give you like my top choice, and then you can choose if that's available or not. You can look at a few more and see what you want to read, but I've read all these.
I love that I can see Paige in the background of this video, because I know they both filmed their videos while Paige was visiting Angel, so I love that.
So I have good things to say, so let's get started. First, I have The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty. I read this recently and I really loved it, maybe even a little bit more than Big Little Lies. I think it's available at your library. I couldn't really figure out the website too well, but if it is, I definitely recommend it, if not for the month of May, at some point, because I really, really enjoyed it. Next, I picked up Love, Hate, and Other Filters by Samira Ahmed. I read this one a couple months ago.
So Love, Hate, and Other Filters, my library doesn't have it yet, but it's on order, and I believe I'm already on the holds list for it, so I think I'm going to go with the first book, but I just want to see what else she talks about because this clip is pretty long, so I just want to see what else.
My third book is something that Paige suggested on the last video, and we really think that you should read it, and that is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. We both really love this series. It's great. It's got family, it's got baking, it's got romance, everything you could want in a contemporary book.
Okay, yes, I still haven't read this series. I will put it on my TBR, but possibly not for this month, just because I like to be able to pick what I'm reading throughout the month, and since I already will, from this list, have 10 books I have to read this month. Although my Goodreads to-read list is super unmanageable. Oh, it's already as want to read on there. Okay, well, fair enough. Let's see what else she has to say.
My last book, which is the one that I'm going to put as the top recommend, I think because it's the most widely available at your library, is the Anna and the French Kiss series by Stephanie Perkins.
I'm going to put Anna and the French Kiss on this list that I'm creating, and then that way I can do a little bit of mood reading within the list, if that makes any sense. I will read 10 books from this list, but because people are giving me extra options, we also have it as an audiobook, so I'm gonna put that on the list because I need some audiobooks for this month because I listen to at least 4 a month, so alright. Angel's so cute. Okay, Next we have Paige. Oh, yep, same setup. Love it, love it.
Just doing a thing. Why not?
I love that you just sent me all your raw footage. I'm really excited to play with it.
Kathy, there's Angel. Cool thing about living close to one another is that we can actually like do things together. That sounds like I'm throwing shade at Kathy for living in Canada.
It did sound like you were throwing shade at me. I was like, yes, but like, I live literally on the other side of the continent. Like I've come to visit you. Now it's your turn to come to visit me.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a choice. I made a
This does not surprise
whole
me
good
at all.
long list of books that I like. One of my favorite books that is available through your library as an ebook is called Lewis for Nightmares by Lori Farias-Delars. I read this when I was in like middle school, I want to say. It's all about magic and mystery and murder at a boarding school.
Now, I should have known that people were gonna have like, how could I pick one book? But because that's exactly how I would feel, but like, for some reason I didn't anticipate this. Just gonna put all of these things on one list and then read 10 of them in May, hopefully. Obviously, I'll let you know how I do with that.
I really liked In the Time of Butterflies by Julia Alvarez, which through your library should be available as an audiobook. I liked Everything is Awful by Matt Belisai. You can get the physical book apparently through your library. It's very funny.
Funnily enough, we have 2 different books with the title Everything is Awful, but I will put the one you suggested on the list as opposed to the other one.
I also might suggest An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, which is one of my favorite books that I read last year. But one of my favorite books that I've ever read is called Beauty by Robin McKinley. It is Beauty and the Beast. It's much closer to the original fairy tale than the Disney version, but it's a version of the original fairy tale that I really like.
I was scrolling through that list of authors who have beauty in the title of their books for so long that my camera stopped recording. Okay, yes, I have found it. I will put it on the list.
The last one on the list for you to choose from is Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. It's essentially Romeo and Juliet with zombies in the apocalypse. Science doesn't matter. It's kind of fantastical, more than like scientific zombies, but I'm okay with that.
Alright, now on to Rogan. What do you have for me? Alright, sounds great. I've heard of this book before, I've never picked it up, and I'm excited to have a reason to do so. I like Rogan's recommendations. Rogan reads some good stuff, so if Rogan liked it, I will probably enjoy my time. So it turns out I only have 9 videos, not 10. That's good. I just, when I was numbering them, missed the number 5. That's fine. One less thing to read. That's good. That is helpful, actually. Maybe I'll read one of the extra things people have told me to read. Jess, what do you got for me?
Hi Kathy, it's Jess from Me Too Video Photography and Book Reviews, and also from Just Views Services. And for your TBR, I'm choosing the one that you won from my giveaway contest for my client Michelle. And it's standalone, so you don't need to worry that it's the last book in her book of 4 for her Harmony Homecoming series. But this is Sweet Southern Trouble.
I did win this from Jess a while ago, and it's been sitting on my shelf mocking me because I keep going to the library instead of picking up books I have in my possession. It's a slight problem. I mean, I'm at the library 5 days of the week, so...
You did win this book, and I did send it to you. I liked it so much because of how empowering I felt Maribel as a character was. I'm hoping you feel the same way.
It is actually good to have a kick in the butt to read something I already own, so thank you for that.
Hey all, it's Litsy again. So I'm working right now with kathytrithardt. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
It's okay, nobody does.
Yeah. And I was actually a bit torn about some of the books because I feel like I would like to recommend a lot to you. But I think the one book that I would recommend would have to be this one. It's Before Ever After. This is written by a Filipino author, Samantha Soto. So I'm sharing this to you as a Filipino myself.
I don't think I've read anything from the Philippines as well. I would have to double check. I've got a list, but...
So this follows a story about Shelley, whose the love of her life passed away, and it's been like years since, you know, she hasn't really moved on. Then one day somebody knocks on her door who looks kind of like her, you know, love of her life, and then from there, that's when the story goes. So as a Filipino, I'm so proud of Samantha Sato because she's making waves overseas.
Yeah, we definitely have that, so cool. One of the cool things about getting BookTube to pick my books is obviously BookTube is international, so I'm glad that my international friends are giving me some international reads. And perfect, now we're on to Chantel.
Hi Kathy, it's Chantel from The Mommy Bookworm, and the book I think you should read for May is Written in the Stars by Aisha Saeed. It is about a young girl whose immigrant family is from Pakistan and they've come to America. Their only rule for their daughter is that they will choose her husband. This is all great until she meets and falls in love with Saif, who is not a part of her culture and her family disapproves. So they travel back to Pakistan in order to show her her roots and visit family. Well, what she doesn't know is they have found her a husband and they want her to marry him now. So this is a definite read. I liked it and I would love to see what you have to say about it.
I've heard of this one. I remember, I'm pretty sure Sajid has talked about this one at some point. And it's just one I never got around to reading, so again, I'm really excited to have a reason to pick it up. Alright, next we're on to Desiree.
Hi Kathy, Desiree's from Libri Labra here, and my recommendation for you is to read All Our Wrong Todays by Elan Mastai. Elan Mastai is a Canadian screenwriter who is responsible for working on What If with Daniel Radcliffe, and All Our Wrong Todays is kind of like a sci-fi time-traveling romance-ish story.
I like all of those things.
The story follows main character Tom Barron going from his utopian 2016 to somehow ending up in what we would consider 2016, which is very dystopian to him. If presented with the choice of getting the ebook or the audiobook, I would strongly suggest getting the audiobook. It's read by the author and he does a phenomenal job.
Do have it as an audiobook. Putting both the physical book and the audiobook on the list. Although I think that I will end up doing the audiobook given how much you were just super excited about the author reading it. We have one more video. Let's see what the last person wants me to read.
Hello! My name is Brianna from Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals, and I have a book recommendation for you that I think that you're going to love. So this is actually a book that I am currently reading right now, and I am loving it. I'm about halfway through it, and I would love to see what you think of it. And that book is Behold the Dreamers by Mbolo Mimbu. It is all about a Cameroonian immigrant family who becomes a driver for a Wall Street exec, and then his wife goes to work for the at the house, and it just kind of goes through those, kind of seeing those two families and seeing how different their lives are. And this all takes place in 2007, so right before the recession. That whole living in the high life and then just everything crashing down. So I think that you're really going to like this book. At least I hope you will. It's a little bit different than, you know, some of the stuff that you read, but I really think that you're going to love it.
I've definitely seen this one come through the library before. So I think my biggest fear going into this project is that somebody would be like mean and make me read something just because the library had it and not necessarily because they think that I would enjoy it. But everyone is so nice, so why did I even think that was going to be a thing? Like, am I becoming a conspiracy theorist all of a sudden? I don't know. Out of those 9 submissions, I have 14 books to choose from, and some of them are available in physical or audio, so there's definitely some flexibility throughout this month, which is very, very helpful. So obviously I will talk about these books if I read them during my weekly entertainment wrap-ups, but if you just want to be surprised and see how many I end up reading throughout the month of May, just come back for my May wrap-up. It really depends on what kind of style you enjoy, because the weekly wrap-ups I talk about things that I've just read, watched, and listened to, whereas with the monthly wrap-ups I do all of the nerdy stats and facts and that type of thing, and then also give my star ratings. Okay, I have some decisions to make to figure out which book I want to tackle first, so I'm going to do that. Obviously, because all of these people were lovely enough to send me in clips for this collab, all of their channels are linked down below, so you should go check them out. If you've read any of these books, let me know about it down in the comments below. No spoilers, please, because obviously I haven't yet. On the way down in the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you next time. Bye!